If you are a 2026 senior and you still have not committed to a college yet, I need you to take a few minutes out of your day and hear me out. Because right now, I'm watching a lot of athletes and families panic. They think recruiting is over. They think they've missed their opportunity. They think every roster spot in the entire country is completely full. And yes, there are schools out there that are finished recruiting. Absolutely, especially at the highest level. But as an AD and college coach for more than 31 years, I can tell you this. Right now, as we speak, there are plenty of Division two and three coaches trying to find one or two players to round out their recruiting class. That happens all over the country right now. And I want to make this very clear at the beginning of this video. This video is really for you, the Division two and three athlete, because right now, Division one's getting all the attention. We hear transfer portal, NIL, roster limits, the NCAA 5-for-5 proposal. That's dominating every conversation in social media and all over the country. But meanwhile, there are hundreds of Division two and three athletes sitting there in May as we speak, wondering, what do I do now? And let me tell you why this completely matters for you. Because last year I watched a player commit to a very strong academic program, an academic school in the Division three level. It was a great school. It was a perfect fit for her. And it was an unbelievable opportunity. The family thought the process was over. And then late in the spring, right around this time, that college landed two Division one transfers from the portal. And suddenly, there was no more room on the roster. Now, most families would think that story ends badly, but it didn't. That athlete regrouped, refocused, and ended up at another outstanding academic school at the Division three level. And that was like late April, around this time, early May. And honestly, that happens more than families realize. Openings happen late. Admission situations change, financial situations change, transfers happen, and athletes back out. And especially at the Division two and three levels, schools are still looking for students because many of those institutions operate heavily on enrollment and net tuition revenue. So coaches are still trying to build their rosters. They're still trying to find the right fit. And honestly, some of the best college situations I've seen in my career happen late in the process because the athlete finally stopped chasing the wrong fit and started focusing on the right ones. So if you're uncommitted right now, this is not the time to emotionally just shut down. This is the time to get organized, get realistic, and move quickly because there are still opportunities out there for athletes who handle the next few weeks the right way. Now, before we talk about what you should do next, I think it's important to honestly talk about how athletes end up in this position in the first place. Because after more than 31 years in college athletics, I can tell you this happens every single year. And honestly, it happens for a lot of different reasons. Sometimes athletes wait too long for a better offer that never comes. They get attention from a bigger school, maybe a few phone calls, a camp invite, and maybe their coach says, stay patient. And suddenly, that athlete starts waiting on a level that may never fully materialize while realistic opportunities just quietly disappear. I see this all the time. Sometimes athletes get bad advice. And I'm just being honest. Sometimes athletes are told they are Division one players when in reality, they may be a strong Division two or Division three player. Or they're told, don't worry about reaching out. Coaches will find you. Just keep playing. Man, that happens all the time. Meanwhile, other athletes are aggressively communicating with schools, building relationships, and creating their opportunities. And sometimes athletes simply start too late. They have no direction, no plan, no realistic school list, and no communication strategy. And by the time senior year rolls around, they're trying to figure out everything in the final few months. That happens constantly. Sometimes the issue is academics. Families fall in love with the school, but the grades, your test scores, or admissions profile just simply doesn't line up. And especially at strong academic Division III schools, admissions matters, and it's the most important thing. It matters a lot. Then there's the financial piece. Honestly, this is one of the biggest reasons I see recruiting situations fall apart late. A family finds a school they love. The coach wants the athlete. Everything feels perfect. Then the financial package comes back, and the family realizes we can't afford this. That happens every single year, especially at small private schools. And sometimes families just don't have enough guidance. Maybe the parents have never gone through the recruiting process before. Maybe the high school coach doesn't help much. And maybe your club coach is overwhelmed with dozens of athletes. And suddenly, the athlete is basically trying to navigate one of the biggest decisions of their life without a real plan or guidance. But here's the important part. If you're still sitting here uncommitted in May, this is not about blaming yourself or others. This is about reorganizing where you are, accepting reality quickly, and understanding that there's still opportunities available if you handle the next few weeks the right way. Now, if I'm describing your situation right now or a friend of yours, and if you're sitting here in May of your senior year feeling behind and overwhelmed, trying to figure out where to even start, this is exactly why I created the Senior Year Recruiting Sprint Guide. Because after more than 31 years as a college coach and athletic director, I realized there were a lot of families who weren't lazy. They just didn't have a real plan. Like I said, they waited too long. They got bad advice and they chased the wrong schools, or they just simply didn't understand how recruiting actually works at the Division II and III levels. So I created this specifically for seniors who are trying to figure things out quickly. The entire system is built around helping athletes, rebuilding their school list, communicating with college coaches, organizing their recruiting process, prepping for calls and visits, cleaning up their social media, and creating a realistic action plan over the next 30 days. Because right now, you don't need more confusion. You need structure and direction. And honestly, you need urgency. That's why the program's called the Senior Year Recruiting Sprint, because at this stage, every week matters. I'll link it in the description below. Now, here's probably the biggest misconception I see right now from families. They think because Division I recruiting is chaotic right now, that recruiting everywhere is completely over. And that's just not true. What's happening at the Division I level right now is heavily driven by the transfer portal. A lot of Division I staffs are building their rosters almost entirely through the transfer portal. They're recruiting older players, experienced players, and players who have already played in college. And at the top of that, a lot of schools are tightening scholarship spending, even in basketball, where programs are allowed more scholarships now. Some schools are not fully funding them. Some programs carry 12 scholarship players, maybe 13, and they're leaving 2 or 3 scholarships on the table because of budget concerns, revenue sharing concerns, or institutional financial decisions. So, yes, at the Division I level, things have changed dramatically. But at Division II and III, they operate very differently, especially at the Division III level. At the Division III level, enrollment matters all the time, and it matters a lot. Many small private colleges operate heavily on net tuition revenue. So while athletic departments obviously care about winning, schools are also trying to bring in students who fit their campus academically, socially, and financially. And because of that, many Division III schools are still actively recruiting right now, even in May, even into the summer. And honestly, I can tell you this personally as an athletic director and coach. Sometimes we're looking for one final athlete, one final position, one specific academic fit, one player who just rounds out the roster correctly. And that happens consistently at the Division II and III levels. In fact, I'll give you a personal example. Around this time last year, it was in late May, I got a call from an AAU coach who's been a friend of mine for years. He has one of his former players who was finishing up her junior college career. Because we knew each other and I trusted him, I was like, yeah, I'll talk with her. I met with her. We had a great conversation. She wound up enrolling in our school. And honestly, she became an absolute blessing for our women's basketball program. She wound up starting about half the games. And during the second half of the season, I think she started almost every game. She she became a major contributor on the court, a positive influence in the locker room, an excellent student in the classroom. And now she's about to become a senior for us this year. And that was a late recruit. That happened really late in the process. It was almost June. And honestly, at the Division 3 level, stories like that happen all the time. Maybe not always through the exact same path, but coaches are still looking for the right fit late in the process. Don't assume recruiting is over just because social media makes you feel that way. There are still coaches recruiting. There are still schools looking, and there's still roster spots open. And honestly, some of the best opportunities happen late because both the athlete and the college finally become realistic about what they actually need. All right. So now the question becomes, what do you do next? If you're still uncommitted right now, you cannot keep approaching recruiting the same way you did 6 months ago. This is the time to reset your entire plan. And honestly, over the next 7 days, your goal is not perfection. Your goal is momentum. And here's what I want you to do if you're a senior athlete sitting in this position right now. Step one, shrink your list immediately. Stop chasing 30 or 40 schools. That phase is over. Right now, you need to identify 3 to 5 realistic schools that fit you academically, athletically, socially, and financially. Not fantasy schools, real schools. These schools are where you can actually have an opportunity. Step two, rebuild your list honestly. This is where you have to stop lying to yourself. Can you get admitted there? Can your family afford it? And do they actually need your position? Or can you realistically compete there? That honesty matters right now because the families that pivot quickly are usually the ones that still find opportunities late. Step three, do a quick roster analysis. This is something most families never do. Go look at the roster. How many seniors are graduating? How many players are returning at your position? Do they already bring in transfers? Did they recruit multiple players at your spot already? Sometimes a roster will tell you more than a coach's email response. And honestly, this is exactly what college coaches are doing when they recruit you. They evaluate fit. You need to do the same thing. Step four, reach out to coaches immediately. Don't wait another week or month. Send the email, introduce yourself, attach your film, explain why you are interested in their program, and be honest. Tell them, I'm looking for the right fit and I'd love the opportunity to speak with you. At this stage, communication matters more than ever. Step five, apply to the school. This is a huge mistake families make. They email coaches for weeks and never actually apply to the college. Coaches can't fully help you if you haven't taken that step, especially at Division 3 schools where admissions and enrollment matter heavily. Step 6, visit the campus if possible. Even unofficially, walk the campus. If you have an opportunity, meet the coach, see the residence halls, talk to admissions, and sit down face to face. At Division 2 and 3 levels, especially, relationships still matter, and they matter a lot. Step 7, stop chasing big name schools and start chasing fit. This is probably the biggest mind shift that you need right now. You are choosing the next 4 years of your life, not an Instagram graphic, not a social media announcement, a real college experience, a real education, and an opportunity. And honestly, some of the happiest and most successful former athletes I know ended up at schools they weren't even considering a year earlier, but they found that right fit, and that changed everything. All right. Now I want to walk you through something that's really important. At this point in the process, Your goal has changed. 6 months ago, maybe your goal was get the biggest offer, play at the highest level, commit to the biggest name school possible. But right now, that mindset can actually hurt you because at this stage, your goal is no longer chasing the perfect recruiting story. Your goal is finding the right fit and finding a real opportunity, a place where you can grow, develop, compete, earn a role, succeed academically, and actually enjoy your college experience. And honestly, after more than 31 years in college athletics, I can tell you something families don't always realize when they're in high school. The athletes who are the happiest in college are usually not the ones who chase the biggest logos. They're the ones who found the best fit. I've seen athletes chase a name, sit on the bench, transfer a year or two later, and completely lose confidence. And I've also seen athletes go to a Division III school they barely considered at first, find a coaching staff that believed in them, earned playing time, became a leader, and graduated, and absolutely loved their college experience. That's success. Success is not posting a commitment graphic that impresses strangers on social media. Success is finding a school where you can build the next 4 years of your life, where athletics, academics, finances, campus life, and opportunity all fit together. And honestly, some of the best college stories that I've ever seen started late because the athlete finally stopped chasing what sounded impressive and started chasing what was actually right for them. So if you're still uncommitted right now, stop looking at yourself like you failed. Your recruiting journey may simply be taking a different path than you originally expected. And sometimes those paths turn out better than the original plan. So let me leave you with this. If you're still uncommitted right now, don't convince yourself that the process is over because it's not. You can still go to college and you can still find the right fit and get on a college roster. And you can still have an unbelievable college experience. But right now, you need direction, you need organization. And honestly, you need to move with urgency and purpose because the families who still find opportunities late are usually the athletes who get focused quickly. And if you feel like you need help rebuilding your plan, organizing your recruiting process, communication with coaches, or figuring out realistic next steps, that's why I created the Senior Year Recruiting Sprint. It was built specifically for athletes who feel behind, overwhelmed, or stuck late in the process and need a step by step plan to move forward quickly. And remember this: your recruiting story is not over just because it didn't happen on the timeline you originally expected. Sometimes the best opportunities are the ones you never saw coming. Guys, I'm Coach Keith Mondillo, and I always say this: I'm not a recruiting service. I'm an educational organization that guides families just like yours through the college athletic recruiting process. If you found this helpful, please share it with other families. Like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm really trying to help and reach as many families as I can.